Days after facing backlash for bragging about the sinking of Iranian naval ship by US Navy, claiming that his Navy officers told him that it was more fun to sink them rather than capture them, Donald Trump has once again made another controversial remark. And this time he has said that US could launch additional strikes on Iran's key oil export hub, that is Kharg Island, saying that US might hit it again just for fun. The remark comes amid escalating tensions in the ongoing conflict between US and Iran, drawing criticism from the observers. So that's the latest statement that is coming from Donald Trump, saying that he might attack that key island, Kharg Island, just for fun. Well, on that, let me go across to consulting editor Srinjoy Chaudhary. Good morning, Srinjoy. Absurd statement that is coming from Donald Trump. He said that he may hit Iran's key oil hub, Kharg Island, just for fun. Does this risk further escalation between the two countries as far as the war is concerned?
It doesn't escalate, but what it does is lead to questions. First of all, when you have already pulverized a target, you have used your Air Force, you have used Air Force personnel, you have used ordnance to destroy the target. Now, if there's nothing left of the target in the middle of a war, why do you want to use your planes, use your pilots, use your weapons to just do it for fun? You could rather use the same weapons and the same pilots and the same Air Force to hit other targets. That would be more useful because it's still war. You're still fighting the Iranians. You're still bombing the Iranians who are targeting ships and your installations with missiles, with drones. If you really have to hit targets, if you really have to do things, then you hit the necessary targets, the valid targets. If a target is gone, if it's pulverized, if it's obliterated, to use your own words, why waste the time of your pilots and your ordnance, expensive ordnance, to hit a target for fun?
Absolutely, and that's a big statement that is coming from Donald Trump. Let me take you through what he has said in the last few days. Remember, just a few days back, he faced backlash over just bragging about the sinking of the Iranian naval ship by the US Navy. That time, he claimed that his Navy officers told him that it was more fun to sink them rather than capture them. Now, that led to a massive controversy. He was, in fact, after he bragged, observers said that it was not right. Donald Trump has once again made another controversial statement. And this time he has said that US could launch additional strikes on Iran's key oil export hub, that is Kharg Island, saying that the US might hit it again just for fun. Srinjoy, this is coming at a time the war is going on and thousands have already died. Now, is it right to say that he will hit the island just for fun at a time when not just these countries, but the entire world is suffering?
Well, first of all, to hit any target that is already pulverized is unnecessary. You can use the same weapons and the same pilot and the same plane to do something more useful. But that's how the president speaks. It's if to hit a target that is already destroyed, or in the president's terms, obliterated, a term he has been using very often, is really a waste. Why do it, is the question.
Stay on with us. I'm joined by former diplomat KB Fabian. Thank you so much, sir, for connecting with us and your time. How do you look at this statement that is coming from Donald Trump? He said that he will hit this key island of Iran once again just for fun. This is coming at a time when the war is going on. Thousands have already died and many countries are suffering.
Yeah, good morning. I would say that, he will be repeating the mistake that he did. And this is typical of Trump because he, as I always maintained, this is Netanyahu's war, and Netanyahu successfully roped in Trump into it without clear objective, without clear strategy, and Trump thought that would be a cakewalk, but it is now turning into a nightmare. And according to many experts, even in the United States, Trump is, skating on ice, which is getting thinner and thinner, and he might fall.
All right, so that's the statement that is coming from Donald Trump, an absurd one that he thinks that it is more fun to attack that island once again. Thank you so much, sir, for connecting with us. Now, take a listen to Trump's remark where he bragged about the sinking of Iranian naval ship by the U.S. Navy, claiming that his naval officers told him that it was more fun to sink them rather than capture them. Have a look.
The Navy is gone. It's all lying at the bottom of the ocean. 46 ships. Can you believe it? In fact, I got a little upset with our people. I said, what quality of ship? Excellent, sir. Top of the line. I said, why did we just capture the ship? We could have used it. Why did we sink them? They said, it's more fun to sink them. I said, they like sinking them better. They say it's safer to sink them. I guess it's probably true.
And today's day 16 of the Middle East war, and there's clearly no visible end in sight. A day after U.S. forces targeted the military infra on Iran's Kharg Island, that's a critical hub for Iran, Iran has vowed to fight on. Though U.S. President Donald Trump has called this one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East and claimed that U.S. forces totally destroyed all the military targets on this key island, Iran in turn has threatened to reduce the U.S.-linked oil facilities to a pile of ashes if the oil structures on this key island, that is Kharg Island, is destroyed. As we told you, only the military infra till now has been targeted, but now Donald Trump has said that he will also hit the oil infra. Not just this, Iran has claimed that it is prepared for the next 5-year-long war, but it does not seem that U.S. is too bothered about this. In fact, Donald Trump has announced a $10 million bounty for the intelligence leading to Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, and several other senior officials tied to IRGC. So that is how, in fact, as far as U.S. is concerned, they are looking at it. But Iran has said that they will hit back if this key island, that is Kharg Island, is hit. Now, the conflict has now reached of one of Iran's most crucial energy hubs, that is Kharg Island. United States has launched strikes on this key island. An attack that Tehran has warned would mark an escalation of the conflict between the two countries. About 90% of the country's oil export moved through the facilities on this particular island. For now, only the military facilities have been hit. The oil infra has been spared. But Donald Trump has said that if the Strait of Hormuz continues to be blocked by Iran, then they will hit the oil infra as well. Let me tell you more about what this Kharg Island is all about. In fact, this was one of the visuals that was put out by Donald Trump yesterday of the attack on military infra on Kharg Island. And he has said that there are several oil terminals on this island and he will hit them too if Strait of Hormuz continues to be blocked. Let's take you, walk you through the closer look of the map of Kharg Island. Look at the terminals on this key island. This is where the key island is. Let me tell you, first of all, where this island is. As you can see, this is Iran, this is Strait of Hormuz, a choke point, and it is quite close to that Strait of Hormuz where this key Kharg Island is. In fact, it is called Iran's crown jewel, and the reason behind is that 90% of the exports, as far as Iran is concerned, it passes through this particular island, and that is why it is a very important island. And Iran has said that if U.S. hits the oil infra on this, then it would cross the red line. So this Kharg Island is one of the main assets of Iran, and in the last 24 hours, the military infra on this particular island, that is in Persian Gulf, has been hit. However, till now, the oil infra has not been attacked, but a threat has been given by Donald Trump that he will hit that too in the coming days. We have